Blindly trying to adjust your stride length would more than likely hurt you, whether you're trying to extend it or whether you're trying to shorten it up. And there's a lot of different factors that indirectly affect the stride length. That's why it's something that you cannot go and directly target. Now, just to give you guys some clarity, I've trained over 200 plus athletes, and I kid you not, 92 to 95% of them do not struggle with stride length. Therefore, we don't touch it. Now, for the other select few that do struggle with them, they often have a very specific type of preference. Within this video, we're just gonna discuss what an actual stride length that is optimal for you should look like. And then if you're trying to get a bigger stride length or like shorten up the stride length, I'll give you guys a couple of drills and cues that can potentially work for you guys. With that said, my name is Anthony Rodriguez. I'm coach and founder of Versatile Athletics. We've helped athletes from the high school, junior college, Division I, and the professional level, help them increase their velocity while helping them understand how their bodies naturally prefer to move. Now, with that said, right back into the video. Biggest mistake when athletes try to create a bigger stride length, what ends up happening is that their velocity decreases or they start feeling like crap on the mound. Their trunk starts to fly open, they start losing stackness, and obviously that's a big red flag. It still like boggles my mind how come coaches and athletes like result towards this style of trying to increase mechanics by creating a bigger stride. Like that does not work. A stride is simply a byproduct of how the rest of the body is moving. That's why when you try to adjust your stride, the rest of the body feels like crap because the timing is not up to par with now the more time that you have in space to stride further. That's why then you also start to struggle with pulling the glove side open or not feeling stacked up into the hinge or the stride phase. In an average, your stride length should be about 82% of your height. Now that could also be affected by the mobility that you have, could be affected by you having the adequate quad lengthening, the adequate hamstring lengthening, believe it or not, adequate adductor lengthening, and not only just the mobility aspect, but the stability aspect, right? Because if your body's designed to keep you safe, so if you don't have the adequate stability, you're more than likely not gonna be striding towards where you actually want to be. Your body's gonna compensate to keep you safe, believe it or not. Towards the height, the limbs, as I mentioned, is relative towards your preferences. And of course, the environment can also play a role into the length of stride that you get, depending on the mount. Now that said, this is really why like trying to target the stride length like doesn't ever really work in a positive manner because it ends up throwing the rest of the delivery out of the conversation. You just don't feel the same with the trunk aspect. You just don't feel the same with staying close. So essentially, if it throws off the timing, right, your body is not just gonna all of a sudden be like, oh, well, you shorten up the stride or you got a bigger stride length. We're gonna optimize to produce the most amount of results. That the velocity, that doesn't happen. It's gonna optimize to keep you safe. That's what it's gonna do. Say you identify that a shorter stride really is what you need. So aside from like the preferences side of things, drills that you can do is you can put a wrist weight on your front ankle. That way, with that weighted wrist weight, right, you can keep a dead front leg and you prevent that front leg from swimming out how it used to. Let's say if that was the problem, right? So essentially, that extra weight on that front leg is gonna help you just land up a little bit closer. Another drill here that you can do for that is you can set up a block or a hurdle, let's say about 80-90% of your natural stride. You can set it up in front or like wherever you're trying to stride to. So for example, right, if my regular stride is all the way out here, but I'm like, well, I need a shorter stride, and I'm like, well, I feel optimum here, I'm either gonna draw a line or like just put a hurdle or a little block so my brain can just see it and I can optimize towards landing a little bit closer with my stride, right? So again, that's just a constraint-led approach to how we do it for helping our athletes showing up the stride. Now, if you're really trying to get a bigger stride, again, this is assuming that you have no mobility issue, no strength issue. The best thing, number one thing that you can really do is really feel like you're driving from the back leg forward on into the mount. That's all you need to do. It's more about cues than actual drills. Obviously with some drills too, like if you really want to get fancy, you can do a wide stance rockers drill, right? So your body can really feel what it's like to be out in this position and then kind of get your way back up, out, and then chasing that same exact feel. But essentially for getting a bigger stride, it's just really more about feeling your back leg push you over while spreading the floor and going over towards the plate. That's really the most simple thing you can do to increase your stride length. Hopefully this helped, guys. This is more of a shorter video, not so much in depth. Just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on that. I hope it helps you. If you're trying to see and understand how we've been helping our athletes increase their velocity, go ahead and watch the video down below in the description. It is our 3-step process, so you can get a little bit more in-depth view to how we help athletes increase their velocity by 4 to 5 miles an hour. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one.